For the dystopian novel that you chose, you are going to do a digital one-pager. Now, the difference between what we have done previously and what we are doing now is that this is one project for the entire book. You are used to chunking your book, and you're not doing it that way this time. You can if you want, but you don't have to. So you're going to go through, and it would be in your best interest to look at the whole project before you start your reading so that you can see, oh, I can answer this, I can answer that. The first slide is just giving the general information of the book. So you're going to give the title and the author, the narrator, or the point of view. And we're talking about point of view this quarter anyway. That's going to be one of those that's on your test at the end of the quarter. So you're going to tell me who's the point of view from. Not only are you going to tell me if it's first person, second person, third person omniscient, but you're also going to name it. Okay, so if for instance, in The Giver, who is telling us the story? Jonas's. It's his perspective, isn't it? So I would want to know Jonas's as the answer there. Tell me where we are and when are we? Okay, is your book set in the future? Okay, is it set now in the present time? What's the verb tense? Give me an image that symbolizes the setting and then explain it. And then tell me the main characters, their names, a few words to describe them and what role they play in relation to the main character. Because the thing is, all characters somehow, some way tie back to the main character. Now you're going to talk about conflict. So what is the main conflict? And then give me internal and give me external. So you're going to have both kinds. Now, needless to say, all of this work needs to be written in complete sentences. Complete sentences. You are 8th graders. Let's make sure they're complete sentences. Then we're going to talk about how the characters change. Again, at the beginning, and you need a quote. How does your character act? Add a quote to back up your thinking. Middle. Why? Essentially, your quote is why. That's your evidence. And then the end, how did they change? Then you're going to look for 3 meaningful quotes from the book and explain why you chose them. So you're going to cite and explain 3 times. Then we're going to go to the theme, which you just did last quarter. Text evidence to support the theme. And then give me a statement. Now, guys, look at this. This is concept. This is one word. Remember how we talked about multiple words? And then you can create your statement from that. Well, that's what you're doing here. You're going to give me the concept, the evidence, and then in this middle one right here, that's where you take it and you make it a statement. Give me a symbol. Why did you choose that? And are there other minor theme concepts? Then you're going to go into your symbols. Insert an image or a visual here that's important or related to the text. If I was doing The Giver in this book, I might choose to do the apple. Why? Because that's the first thing he saw that changed color, correct? Okay, so I might put an apple there, and over here I would say, I chose the apple because it was the first color Jonas saw. Okay, then again, do it again. What's another symbol you could use? Okay, maybe a snowflake. All right, why did I choose a snowflake? I chose a snowflake because that was one of the first things he experienced, or a sled, the sled ride. Okay, so again, there's several things that you can do. So you're giving me the symbol and you're telling me why, you're doing it again. And then finally, you're giving me a timeline. So notice how they're numbered: 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. Now make sure that number 1 is number 1 and number 6 is number 6. In other words, beginning, end. And finally, you're going to do a constructive response. Okay, it's exactly the same kind of response that you did with The Giver, but the difference is this time you're going to have to tell me the perspective of the main character, because all of you are reading different books. So in blank by blank, which is the author, main character's perspective. If you are reading Uglies, Tally is our main character. So Tally's perspective is different than the perspective of other characters. Okay, how is her perspective different? So you're writing the same thing, idealized, just with different characters. Now, when it comes to the grading of this, the constructed response is going to stand on its own. And then I'm going to go in and find 2 more spots for grading elsewhere. So you're going to end up with 3 grades out of the giver. Okay, not the giver, I apologize, out of the dystopian novel. But the constructed response will stand on its own. Okay, so in other words, here you go. Now, if you want to write this constructed response on another piece of paper and then copy and paste it into the green box, you are more than welcome to do so.